Welcome back, everybody. This is Ayad Boudiab. I'm a senior .NET application developer, and as you notice in these videos, we've been talking about ASP.NET 4.0, and we've been covering many of the concepts related to ASP.NET, whether that was from 4.0 or from previous versions. So we're covering all the details from the beginning, and we've talked about some buttons and different properties, different ways of submitting the information on a form. And in today's video, I'm specifically going to talk about panels. And when we talk about panels, we're talking about having some sections on the page, right? So if you're filling out a small form on the internet, you would not notice maybe the panels would be as helpful. But if you're working with large forms, let's say for example you're working with a form that has to do with insurance, right? You need to fill out the personal information, you need to fill out the type of insurance that you're selecting, you need to fill out some information regarding coverage and who will be covered and so on. So the forms will be long. If those forms were, if of this specific form would be divided into small sections, and every section with a meaningful related information, then filling out the form would not be as bad. And one way to do that is to divide the form into sections, and that's what we refer to as the panels that we can have on the form. And those panels, I mean, they have more additional behavior and properties and so on, but at least they are good in that perspective, dividing the forms into different sections. In today's video, I'm going to create a couple of small panels and trying to work with their properties and see what type of behavior would those panels give us and what type of information we can put in them. Of course, the example that I'm using is small, but these type of panels would apply for large forms, and they'll be very helpful and handy in that regard. So to do so, let's go ahead and create a new website. And as always, we're targeting .NET 4.0. New website, location, and the name. Let's call this one Test Panels. Click OK. Okay, now that we have our website, I'm going to right click on the top. As we always do, I'm going to add a new item, and that item would be a simple web form, and the name is panels.aspx. Click Add. Now I have a simple page for the panels, and here are my property, my toolbox. And if I scroll down in here, I'll see a panel. Just simply let's take one and drag it over. Panel with panel ID panel 1, run at equals server. Let's go ahead and save. Right click on the page, view in browser. Trying to see what type of information would we have with this panel. Our page would be displayed. Of course, there's nothing to see. Right click, view source. I see here that I have inside my form action panels.aspx, I see a div named panel1 inside the main div. So you notice here this belongs together. That gives us a div with ID panel1 and then another div. So basically then a panel is a div. Okay, let's go back to our code and let's see what else we can do. Now since I'm adding a couple panels in here, I'll create one panel for personal information and then another panel for other type of information that the user would fill out. So let's change a few things here. For the panel, I'm going to give it an ID PNL personal for personal information. Of course, the panel would be run at equal server like other ASP.NET controls. And then I'm going to give it a width. So the panel would not take the whole page. Let's say it's 50% of the page. Okay. What else can we do? Let's do the border style for this panel. Okay. Border style equal, and it gives us a bunch of options. Of course, we can have it dashed, dotted, double groove, inset, none, and so on. Let's choose, for example, inset. And let's first of all, since the when the page loads, I don't want to see the panel. I want something else to show me the panel. So when the panel loads, it's not visible. I have the option of making it visible equals false. So I'm gonna hide the panel when it first loads, and that's nice for you when you're programming a form to hide the information that the user doesn't want to see